Hi, Traci Webb. Today we're talking about this concept of grow or die. Grow or die sounds so extreme, doesn't it? But in actuality, if you really think about the nature of the human spirit, it really is part and parcel of our essence. In fact, in the Vedic world, we have this concept that the universe itself, that creator, that source, the one unified field, if you will, is always and forever, is infinitely expanding and growing. And that we, being a part and parcel of that whole, or a drop of that ocean, if you will, we have the desire to also be continuously evolving, continuously transforming, continuously growing. So there is this concept that we want to grow, we want to expand, we want to shift who we are, we really want to become something different, become the highest and next version of ourselves. But the problem is we don't really have the skill set to do that. And so, for example, you might have a desire to change your health. You might have a desire to change locations. You might have a desire to change your job. Typically, all of us at any given time have one or two areas that are really resonant within our lives. That it's like that's the area of growth. That's where we want to put all of our eggs in that basket, and where we're really having a deep, we could say like a karmic calling, to work on that part of ourself. Maybe it's healing our relationships and experiencing deeper connection, improving our communication skills. Maybe it's dialing in our schedule and making sure that we manage our time better instead of it managing us. Maybe we desire to have radiant health and vitality and to up-level our daily habits and routines to be in alignment and in service of that. Maybe it's so that we can have a deeper sense of connection and clarity around our dharma, around our soul's goal, around our life's purpose, around our career, around our impact, so that we can experience the biggest transformation in that area. So whatever area is really resonant with you, the chances are that that exists, that there is a place in your life, one or two or three, where it's like, yeah, that's where my growth curve is, that's where I'm heading next, right? But the problem is, again, is twofold actually. The first part of the problem is we lack the skill set to get us there. So we don't have the right tools at our disposal. It's not your fault. You know, our education system has what it teaches, and sometimes, especially when it's in regarding to the greater theme of life and the greater field of life, it's often lacking. So it's not your fault. This is part and parcel of why coaching has become so popular in the modern era. So the idea of bringing us these skill sets, in other words, through the coaching world that maybe we didn't get from school or from our parents, or etc., from our community teachers, etc. So we're lacking the skill set. That's number one. And actually, that's an important one. In fact, there was the father of positive psychology. His name is Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. It's kind of a challenging name to say, but he was Hungarian. And he had created this, he did this research essentially. He was an artist. And he was interested in art and creativity, and he would essentially, you know, witness artists that were really having a state of focus. They were really producing a lot of work. They were maybe not even needing to sleep or to eat, and they would be up for days creating these amazing masterpieces that they were so proud of, so connected to, and they would present them to the public, and the public would just, their hearts would open. They would have this transformative experience just from witnessing these works of art. So he noticed that he would go and he would question these people, and he would interview them, and he came to find out that they had reached essentially this state of really intense focus, real intense clarity, real intense knowing of what step needed to happen next, and essentially were able to create this amazing masterpiece and attain this vision that they had in their mind and bring it to fruition, actually actualize it, bring it out of spirit realm and into the realm of form and of matter. And so he noticed that, you know, they would be in this state, and they were so happy they didn't need to sleep or eat, and out came this amazing masterpiece. Well, he saw this consistently repeating itself when he would interview the athletes that were the highest achieving athletes, most successful musicians, the most successful businessmen and women, corporations, entrepreneurs, etc. He came to call this state the state of flow. And he equates this with the experience of what it is to feel happy, right? So even the Dalai Lama, for example, he says, if you ask him what's the purpose of life, the purpose is to be happy, to be in this state of flow, essentially. So the problem is, it's not that you don't have this amazing, deep driving desire to attain these changes, to attain your own masterpiece. But the problem is that the skill set isn't there to attain the state of flow. Because what Mihai found was that when we have the skill set that is equal to the challenge, equal to the desire, equal to your goal, the activity you need to do, when our skill set is equal to that challenge, that is what creates the state of flow. However, you might be experiencing this currently, which is you have this deep driving desire. However, your skill set is really minimal. You're lacking the skills, the knowledge, the tools, the know-how, maybe even this community support, the guidance, the mentorship on how to get there. So when that happens, what we end up with is we end up with a state of anxiety. We end up with a state of overwhelm. We end up with a state even of chronic depression, chronic sense of purposelessness. So we end up feeling like we're not able to actually shift. We feel what we would say in Ayurveda, we feel a pranic blockage. We feel essentially an energetic blockage that we're not able to move beyond where we are. So it's like we have all this life force like a volcano within us, but it's not able to erupt and express itself and create that next masterpiece in our life. So we experience it as anxiety, we experience it as depression, we experience it as frustration and anger and impatience, and just a feeling of being incapable of attaining our soul's goals, to the point where we might even have given up on ourselves, given up on our dreams. So I'm here to encourage you, to inspire you today to don't give up on your dreams. Never give up on your dreams. It's grow or die, baby. Grow or die. And so you have the opportunity. Every day is a new opportunity. Every day we're born is a great day to be alive. And the fact that we are alive, we have a new opportunity presenting itself to us, whereby we can transform our life and begin to work towards our soul's deepest goals. So again, the skill set, when it's equal to the challenge, then we do great. The opposite's true. If we have a whole bunch of skill set and you have a whole bunch of knowledge, but you're not challenging yourself enough with your next biggest dream, we also can get into this kind of counter problem, which is the problem of boredom, right? It would be kind of equivalent to having somebody who teaches master's course in biology at the master's degree level, and then they're having to sit in and babysit the kindergarten level class for that day. They would have this incredible skill set, and the challenge isn't being met, their skill set isn't being met, so therefore they're bored. So you might also be feeling that in your life. So either way, the key is that there's two parts to transforming ourselves, to attaining the state of flow, the state of happiness, to really being able to grow, so that we don't feel like every day we're having this slow and silent death. Right? The idea isn't to have this slow and silent death every day, but every day, like a tree, like a plant, like every cell, it wants to grow, it wants to expand, it wants to explore, it wants to live. In fact, the nature of our soul is said, one of the natures of our soul is that it has the will to live. So you and I, all of us, we will to live, we desire to live. One of the deepest driving desires we have is to live. And to live is to be a part and parcel of life. And life, as we know, is always and forever expanding and exploring and experimenting and enjoying that process along the way. So the first part we talked about, which is changing up the skill set. So that's a requirement. The next part, which is probably even maybe in some levels the really even deeper, transformative, and maybe even more rewarding part, is who it is we have to become along the way. So there's a wonderful quote I love by Jim Rohn. He was the mentor to Tony Robbins, if you're familiar with Tony Robbins. And he has this quote. He says that to set a goal, that in the process of attaining the goal, that you become somebody that's worth becoming. So that he says, to set a goal that's big enough, that in the process of attaining that and achieving that goal, that we become somebody worth becoming, right? So I love that quote, that concept that we want to set this goal high enough that we actually become somebody different in the process. And so that's really what, the idea of leaping into who we're becoming. So we have this concept in our courses at the Ayurveda Institute, that we have this idea that we want to always continuously change who it is that we're becoming, become the next greatest, highest, best version of ourselves. And so if we're not becoming somebody different, if we're not in a sense killing away and removing the old dead leaves of our plant, of our tree of life that aren't serving us anymore, and continuously growing new leaves, new blossoms, new flowers, bearing new fruits, then in a sense we are slowly dying a slow and painful death, the death of the spirit. So I don't want that for you. I know you don't want that for yourself. And I will have another part to this video, which will come later, another video, so keep an eye out in the next newsletter, or check out the YouTube channel. But I want to just encourage you and proposition you and challenge you to this concept of growing or dying in this new year. So this is a new year, a new you. So I really want to encourage you to, if you don't have the skill sets you've been desiring, if you don't have these capacities, to research them out, to develop them within yourself, to study them, to apply them to the point where you own them, that you transform, that you get yourself back into that state of connection, back into that state of flow, back into that state of bliss. And of course, I would be, missing out on an opportunity here if I didn't let you know that, hey, we happen to have an amazing program called the Ayurveda Life Mastery Program, where we teach you just these exact principles and just these exact tool sets that I've been talking about in this video, where you actually can become the next highest and best version of yourself, where you can learn the new tool sets that are required to take you to that next level of expansion and growth to attain your masterpiece in your life. So please check out the link below to learn more about our Ayurveda Life Mastery Program. It's a 9-month Ayurvedic health and life coaching program where we go step by step. We take you in a supportive community format, which, by the way, when you're in a community, you increase your success rate by 80 to 90% if you had done it alone. So you not only have a supportive community of your cohorts, of your fellow students, you also have the support of me as your instructor, and together we go as your guide, really, and we go through one part of your life at a time and revamp that part of your life, give you the next skill set that you need to transport you into that state of flow in that particular part of your life. And all the different parts of life are touched. We call it your wheel of life. And we have these 12 spokes of the wheel, things like your clarity of vision, things like dialing in your calendar and learning how to manage your time instead of it managing you. Healing your core relationships, starting with your relationship to yourself, becoming your own best friend. Also learning how to find your voice, how to step into self-confidence, how to become decisive, how to become the next version of yourself, essentially. We also dive into relationships with our core family and friends and begin healing those and learn the skill sets needed to start healing those and get into the flow in our relationships. We also get into and dive deep into working on your love relationship, whether you have one currently or not. If you have one currently, we help you to heal that and to deepen that connection. If you don't have one, we help you to discover and to begin to create that in your life and to open up space in your life to bring forth your beloved. We also go obviously into all of the Ayurvedic theory, all of the nutrition, diving deep into your relationship with food and exploring and healing that. We get into Ayurvedic detoxification therapies, all the Ayurvedic tool chest, including aromatherapy, seasonal living, daily habits and routines. You also learn, of course, actually habit evolution, because to have all the theoretical information in the world is going to be useless if you don't know how to actually implement it and own it and live it on a day-to-day basis to get the results that you're looking for. In this program, you learn coaching tools, you have a coaching internship, you start to dial in the daily habits and start to get the benefits of having radiant health, clarity of purpose, the ability to manage and schedule your time, to be able to take the proper action steps to start to dial in and achieve your soul's goals, etc. So this program really isn't to be missed. If this sounds at all interesting to you, I really encourage and challenge you to click the button to be taken to the page to learn more about this program. Know that we only take 20 students into this program and the spaces are filling fast. So please be sure to schedule your discovery call and just learn if this program is right for you. And I'll see you in the next video. Please click the subscribe button so you can be alerted when our next videos are being made available. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a beautiful day.